Time now for our Screwed segment. In less than 2 weeks, the United States government will run out of money and shut down. That is, unless Republicans and Democrats can come together and work on a new budget proposal. And considering the huge difference between President Obama's budget proposal and the House Republicans' proposal, compromise appears pretty unlikely. And as the clock ticks, Republicans have decided to the week off in Congress, meaning that next week lawmakers will only have 4 days to find a solution, or the government will indeed shut down. So which party owns the blame for a government shutdown? There's already some finger-pointing going around. There is some finger-pointing going around.
To kill the funding bill that keeps the government open, then the monkey's going to be on their back.
We on the Democratic side are prepared to work with them, and we've put proposals on the table, but they're in charge. And just like Newt Gingrich in 1995 and Boehner today, fundamentally when you're the Republican Party in 2011, you know what you're against, but when it comes to governing, you're not very good at it.
Now, there's been talk of a possible government shutdown, which didn't turn out so well for the GOP back in 1995.
That's not going to happen, because that won't serve anyone's interest. That's a bugaboo that the liberals right now are trying to throw out to scare the American people.
And then they say, if you don't do it our way, we're going to shut the government down and hurt millions and millions of innocent people. And at the same time,
if the Democrats decide to kill...
Right. So, you know, we've seen this movie before. We saw it back during the Clinton administration. If the government shuts down, there'll be no new Social Security claims. Well, it's even worse than that. The checks won't go out, but if you're turning of an age where you can make a claim, or if you want to file a claim, you can't do it. There's going to be nobody there to answer the phone call. Same with the veteran services. No paychecks for government employees. No federal funding for the states. No new passports. National parks and museums are going to close. Seems like a pretty bizarre and grim list, doesn't it? Could it be that anybody would benefit from this? Well, let's see. The Republican agenda. No new Social Security claims? What a surprise. Paul Ryan, the budget director in the House, his Social Security roadmap calls for the privatization of Social Security, the end of Social Security claims. Veteran services cutbacks. On the veteran services cutbacks, Michelle Bachmann proposed cutting VA benefits. I mean, cutting VA benefits. No paychecks for government employees. Well, you know, John Boehner famously said, so be it.
Since President Obama has taken office, the federal government has added 200,000 new federal jobs. If some of those jobs are lost in this, so be it. We're broke.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a lie. Number one, it's 80,000 employees, more or less. And number two, we're not broke. We're in debt. Japan's GDP, debt to GDP is 200%, and we're nothing close to them. We're just fine. Thank you very much. Anyhow, back to this. No federal funding for the states? Well, gee, state deficits mean the Republicans can attack the unions. They're doing that right now. And, you know, I mean, going after the teachers, for example, in Wisconsin, something that is going to give them a maximum benefit of maybe $30 million. And, you know, for this so-called $6 billion budget hole. Let's go after the teachers? For this much of this? After much of this was created by saying to the companies, you know, we're going to give you this 15% tax cut, which they didn't even need. Oh, of course, they funded Governor Walker's campaign for governor, so I guess they do need it if they're going to fund his next campaign, right? They need that money. No new passports. Well, no foreigners. Hey, the xenophobes will be happy. National parks and museums being closed. You know, the GOP has actually been at war with the Smithsonian. There's a couple of quotes. This from Speaker of House John Boehner. Smithsonian officials should either acknowledge the mistake and correct it or be prepared to face scrutiny beginning in January when the new majority moves in. And this from his number two guy, Eric Cantor, the House Majority Leader. When a museum receives taxpayer money, the taxpayers have a right to expect the museum will uphold standards of common decency. Museums should pull the exhibit and be prepared for serious questions come budget time. They didn't like an exhibit over at the National Portrait Gallery of art by gay artists. Give me a break. If this happens, the Republicans get everything they want, They win. It is the ongoing war against democracy and the American way, brought to you courtesy of the Republican Party.